from the live from the depths of the Warrior Junior dungeon. We're here. We're here. WJ here. Yeah. All right. So this one I'm gonna call. I called. So you're a tough guy, eh? And I guess I use the generic. And I think about this the generic that line because people think that if you go out there and you just hold your ground, you hold your ground. They go, yeah, you're a tough guy. I think you're a tough guy, eh? It's so funny. Like, most people, like the commons, the, I think I was in England to some place they call it the House of Commons. I know that's like, I guess that's where like the, the Democratic, over there, those the politicians or whatever, the House of Commons. I mean, and it was funny, like in baseball cards, there used to be a store, it was called the House of Commons. You get all the cards. It's kind of cool. Kind of funny. Common baseball player, but even a common baseball player, like professional, is still a professional baseball player. They got the talent to be there to the major leagues, a place I couldn't get to. Um, there's so many guys. I don't want to get off topic too much, but I love to like relate like my real world experiences to or things that I know to what I'm inevitably what this channel is all about. Trying to get those women that you're really attracted to and avoid getting into fights and stuff. That's the bottom line. But um, anyway, yeah. So the baseball player thing, I was thinking about that. It's like, well, oh, it's a common. It's worth 5 cents. It's nothing. But hey, they made it to the major leagues. So maybe, you know, thing is that when if you're going through like the farm system, and you could be like you could be really talented in high school. It's like, wow. I mean, this guy, holy shit, this guy's unbelievable. And you're thinking that guy's going to be playing for the Dodgers one day for sure. Guaranteed. And or whatever team. We had these guys when I went to Fairfax. I mean, tell you, I was there during the city championship. The last time they were at Dodger Stadium was 30 years ago. And I was on the junior varsity. Ironic, junior again. See, everything is coincidence. Warrior junior varsity, and we had this pitcher, this Danny Choi guy. God, I remember just playing catch with him. And it was like a fucking how strong this guy he was, hard he could throw. It was like built for this. He's like 6'1", 185. But we're talking 1990. I mean, this guy could throw like low to mid 90s with control. I mean, it was like this guy's going somewhere. It's like I never seen. I mean, I seen professional players not even came and throw like that. Minor leaguers. This guy was going. What wound up happening is I guess he got drafted by the A's, and he could have probably went to Double A right away, and he got an offer to go play in Korea. He got like $1 million back then, 1990, like 30 years ago. A million was like just that's a million was a million. I know a million is still $1 million now, but 30 years ago, that's like probably saying 5 million or something. It's a lot of money. I mean, so bottom line, he went there, he did not shine. He struggled. And you would think maybe, okay, well, he'd come back here, and then the A's or another team would pick him up, and just with that hardcore training, I guess. I mean, not to belittle Korean baseball, but look at Cecil Fielder. The guy went there like in '86 or whatever, and he came back to America. The guy hit like I remember the last game of the season, 50 and 51 home runs, and made the cover of the paper. It was like, the fuck is this guy? In the next like the Black Babe Ruth or something was coming. He was kind of Cecil Fielder is kind of fat. So like I know I'm getting off topic, but these are just interesting stories that relate to things. So you know he hit, and it was like a big deal, like this Cecil Fielder guy, and everybody knows his son recently retired, like Prince Fielder. Kind of looks like him, but I remember like nobody hit 50 home runs in a season, until Cecil Fielder, for a long time. I think George Foster did and said that it was like unheard of. My point. So what happened with the pitcher, that guy that came back? He went to like Long Beach State or something, and it just got, I don't know what happened. He just didn't make it. Just didn't make it. I mean, like God, this guy was like a fucking machine. I mean, how many minor league trial camps I went to till 31, till I finally. I mean, I did sign that professional contract for one day, which was another story in of itself. But it's just the process of getting weeded out of everything. There's so many dudes that can do things, and so we think about fighting now, as somebody that's, spent a lot of time dancing, this is becoming very natural and easy for me, like automatic. Like it's funny, I played a lot of chess and I would see these kids, they're 12 years old and, just making master already. It's automatic, like when I was taking Shotokan, I was about the same age. So like I'm just saying to myself, I mean, this is just automatic coming back. Everything like to me, just hand with now as dancer, same thing. A lot of things are coming. I know how to use my hands for some of these moves, but I watched like this guy, this Wing Chun, and how their hands move. It's like automatic. If somebody tries to hit you, bam, like or come at you, it's like fucking wow, bam, boom, and then like wow, like it's over in a second, couple seconds, the guy is incapacitated. It's not like a fucking movie, and that's one of the things I'm thinking. I talked about this in my last video, is where if you sit there and you just study karate, this Shotokan and stuff, I mean it's good, and I guess you get better at it. You develop your own, you take in your own kind of freestyle to it, but I'm going to study everything. Why not? Like if dancing, I told you, if you're like a really good, just at disco, they played a couple disco songs like, wow, that guy can really disco. But then they change the music to something and, put on anything funk, maybe with like Bruno Mars, and you keep doing the disco. It's like, that's all that guy can do. He doesn't have. And I mean, that just limits you. You're being limited. Now I'm, again, because of my age, knees and everything, I could feel like, oh shit, I can't do like, it's hard to get that snap if you're kicking roundhouse and do that kind of stuff. But you just work to your maximum limitations. Like that's it. Like just the heavy bag. What I was doing, I was hitting it toward the top because like, okay, well, you're just, you're boxing, boom, boom, boom. But I'm thinking to myself, if somebody, like if you're trying to do the pickup and that guy fucking comes and grabs you, and you try to like box, okay, but if somebody really knows, it could be, they could be really fast too. They could grab you and fucking knee you, and it's like all that boxing. Well, you're thinking, well, he's gonna throw a punch, but he grabs me and fucking, and it's like, holy shit. So what you want to have is so much shit in your arsenal. So it's like I talked about this last time, like the tool in the tool shed. I've got a circular saw, I need this to cut apart this thing. I got a choice. I got like a circular saw there. I could fucking take a axe to it. I got a fucking hammer right there. Whatever I need, I can just automatically just pull it out and tear it apart. Now that's what I'm thinking. So, this is just part of confidence. So if something happens, it's people. It's this one woman. I talked to her a couple nights ago, and she was telling me like there was this guy. He was kind of stalking me, and and so I thought about this. I said, well, doing a pickup could be perceived as much too. I said, well, tell me what happened. And she goes, well, I'm with, and I said that she's with some guys, and she's like this little short Hispanic lady. And what happened was, she says, well, this guy, he was trying to, I guess he was trying to pick me up, and I said no, and what he did was he like pushed me kind of like out of it. He wasn't trying to tap me, like got mad or something. And she goes like, what do I do? What do I do? And I said, avoid these people, go around them. It's like, well, I can't. What do you mean you can't? I go into the fucking street of traffic. I was so scared when guys are coming and they come after me. It's an amazing thing. There's adrenaline when they're on in your mind. It's all, I could say it's all bluff. It's all bluff. But the problem is, your mind is like, all right, well, I'm either fighting, I'm holding my ground, or I'm backing up, and that's the problem. Like, unless you have the confidence and skill. It's like in dancing, I do, because, I've done it for so long. So like, I don't care. I go to if I go to a nightclub or a bar, And the second something comes on, it's like, all right, bam, bam, I'm just like automatic, whatever. It's like, I'm not thinking about the moves because I've done it so many times. I built an arsenal like over. It started with the Michael Jackson stuff, just kind of mimicking and copying like Billie Jean or whatever. Like, it's learning and then I would just expand because once I know how my body works, and then I just listen to the rhythm, it just becomes, oh, okay, that doesn't look perfect because I don't practice in a mirror like, oh, like perfect choreography. I guess if you're a professional dancer, they're looking for, everybody's doing the same thing, so the moves have to be absolute precision. Like when you see like videos, Britney Spears or whatever, that they're all doing those moves, they go over it, just countless fucking times. And the problem is a lot of those moves are not, they're I call oddball moves, like they can fuck you up, your joints and everything, because it's not natural. You're just following what the choreographer is telling you. Okay, this is what it's going to go, 5, 6, 7, 8, blah, blah. And your body is not designed to do what everybody. That's why these dancers, they're done by the time they're 30 years old. Well, what about like Jennifer Lopez? Look, that's a rare example, like, and if I talked to some of these dancers, one dancer, she goes, she can't dance, camera angles and everything. And, a lot of the stuff that's almost no impact when you see the salsa, they're moving their hips and stuff. It's a natural movement. It's not, you're not going to get fucked up doing that. You get fucked up when you're doing what I call the oddball movements. And I'm not going to do this kind of, like just anything out there and wow, like, because you're going against the natural, the flow of your body. The salsa kind of stuff, you're just flowing, you're just moving your hips, walking back and forth. It's not like, you could do that till the end, till hopefully you can move. But when you start getting into, like break dancing and stuff like hard, or any type of, the drop moves that I used to do, split moves, anything like just, it's hard hitting and stuff. Time is going to add up. You're not going to be able, like, I think I did I remember a split move, but there's this drop thing that I would do. It's like basically an aerial. I did it on Dance Fever, like the final move. I jump off the stage and I land and I go into an Indian thing and then turn around. I mean, my fucking knees, I can't even do it fucking like just warmed up, even stationary. I could feel it, like worn out meniscus from, when I was bodybuilding after the squats and everything. So it just, it's like, you're a human being, it's wear and tear, like I do taking glucosamine thinking, okay, well, stuff could kind of help, but it's like think about like an old Corvette or something. When I say old, I mean like, like 1973, car's a piece of shit, like it'll run like if it's maintained, but you start it up, the second you start up that old car, you're sound like Special Head, that idiot that was on the America's Got Talent. Yeah. It's so stupid. I know, I was laughing. I saw that guy, he just comes out in that robe like a monk and he goes, it would have been funny if it would have been just a little more, because when you get that chance on camera, you get that one chance, that people size you up very, very quickly, like, and as in a fight. But, it's funny, like that Special Head, they go, Andrew, who are you? And he goes, I am Special Head, like she could have been like more, and been more into the monk kind of thing, like, it just could have been done a little better, but he was pretty good. I have to admit, he could have used like more like enlightening, my child, the path to enlightenment lies within. He could have said something that people are like, what the fuck is this guy saying? But his look, that ball, he comes out, with the robe and everything like that, and they're like, what the fuck is this guy gonna do? And it's like, he goes, yum, yum, yum. And then he does like, you see that poof of smoke, and all of a sudden, like, he's like hovering, and the people are like, wow, those idiots in the crowd. I would call those judges idiots, but they're getting paid. So like those people, like I said that they couldn't make it, like the Howie Mandel or whatever, he goes, wow, you are really amazing, and then the Simon Cowell, that moron, the guy goes, I have to say, out of all the people we've had so far, you are really something. And that, what's that? I don't know. She's British or whatever. That black chick. She goes, oh, that is just absolutely. Oh, you are just amazing. And then that what's that Latina with that Sophia Virginia woman, Sophia Vergara, for Virginia, whatever her name is, and she's just like the fakest, like they have to probably spend a year like on her makeup. I mean, it's like this is ridiculous. These people with their hair, and they have no talent. I mean, okay, now I gotta say, I know I'm getting off topic, but it's okay sometimes because I make relative points. Like the Howie Mandel guy, he goes back. He goes back to like that show Bizarre back on Showtime. I think it was HBO back in '79 or something, '80. It's OG. I mean, okay, he's trying to stand up. Like that's, wow. I mean that's paying your dues. If you've been around, like not just around, but you've been on TV already, like 1980, and you've been grinding away, like for that 4 decades or something. What are you gonna? I mean, that's come on, that's real shit. But a lot of people don't know. Like I research, what I do is I look people up. I say, how do you like? How did you make it? Like, how do you like? Instead, I don't have to ask them. I could, everything's public information. Simon Cowell comes from his family. His dad was like worked in PR or AR for music publishing company or promotion and stuff like that. His dad took him under his wing, and told him, okay, well, this is how with the talent, this is how we promote as managers and stuff like that. And he couldn't, he struggled, but he stayed with it, and like I guess I don't know if his dad handed him kind of the company or his position or gave him an in because what happens, those people retire and it's like, well, my son here, he's really good, and he's pretty smart. I mean, you could just kind of tell, but you know, I guess he just said, oh well, what about like a talent show? Give people. It's not. These people aren't the most brightest things you can imagine coming up with these ideas, but what they do is they have like connections and they have this bankability that gives them an in, and then all of a sudden, and all these people like is it Paul Abdul, where they gravitate toward that. Oh, he's got power. Yeah, yeah. You do what you say. Like, so, and again, and these judges, they can't do absolutely nothing for you. I mean, well, think about this. You got like a talent or something like that, and you. I know I'm off topic, but I have to keep going. The problem. There's so many people. They all think it's a big deal, like what they can do. But what do you do if you're like a broke street performer, and somebody's giving you a chance to be on television? It's like, okay, like where's it gonna lead? I mean, all these people. I was the World of Dance thing. Like I'm watching these kids, and she's she's watching these people like and she's like the hard, like she's that got that tough, that Puerto Rican, New Yorkian, whatever her company is, that serious like you gotta bring it. It's like a man kind of in a woman's body kind of thing. But then she tries to come off sexy, like a Marilyn Monroe. She'll never be. In her mind, probably she thinks she's like, I'm the best. And you're not. You're just very well promoted, but you're not. There is no. It's like Marilyn Monroe. There's only one, and there's a reason why. It's like I was watching over at my friend's place. They had, her name is big, when they come out, and she comes out and she's like this airhead, like, but not stupid, but like bubbly, Boop, 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 boop. Oh, I just want to be loved by, like she's a come out and got, and guys are just looking at this, like, and the guys, they put these guys in, they're like they're very homely, they're very average or whatever. They're not like, even like Jack LaLanne kind of does. They're coming up there like a normal average Joe. I know what the director was thinking. He said, okay, so like the idea is when I make these movies, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have like Marilyn Monroe. Oh, what do you think? And the air is blowing up. You remember, like the air is blowing up and her thing is going like this. And it's like, oh, it's so wonderful. Oh, it's so hot in here. And that guy, I don't know, forgot what his name is. That stupid guy. He's wearing a hat, like, like, ooh, he's like dumbfounded. Like, she's the. Now, I think about this. Like, I look at my friend goes, now look at her. He's dolled up. That's her to the nines. Like that's it. makeup and everything, and we're looking at her going, this woman wouldn't even be considered like if I saw her even done up like that today, like if she was walking down the block, I wouldn't even try. Not because she's Marilyn Monroe, because she's nothing. She's nothing. I mean, it's like in my mind, I wouldn't even try to do a pickup. I wouldn't even. Not good. At least we're getting back to the subject here. But I wouldn't even try. She's a nothing. She's like a kind of fat, but not. Her body is not really like it's not like wow. It's no. It's nothing. It's like a 6.5 on my scale if I'm being generous, but I guess back then that was it. Like those guys, average man was like, wow, look at this. Like, look at her, the roundness, look at the proportion of like, and I'm like, saying to myself, this is nothing, this is really a nothing. I mean, and I'm not saying all the women from that time are nothing, because I have seen, I watch, I go and I would research and say like, oh, they made like, a lot of movies of the I forget, not Betty Page, but there's a lot of women back then that was like, holy shit, not Tempest Storm, she's okay, but there's like, the burlesque and the boop cake or whatever they call it. I don't know what it's called, but the cheesecake, yeah, the magazines and stuff. And it's like some of them, like I say, like Raquel Welch or something. Okay, for example, but that was later. No, in the '60s though. But if you watch like Fantastic Voyage or something, there's a scene, like they're all and they're going. She's wearing like this tight, this tight diving outfit or whatever, and she takes it off, and it's like just it was a Disney movie. Go figure, like in the '60s or something. But like when she took it out, and everybody, I could tell the heat must have went up in the theater. Like wow, like the bar was raised. Like it started. Because she's like kind of lean, but wow. I mean, it's then see now that's what I'm. If I saw that, that's the warrior goes in, like I'm sorry, I'm putting my finger up, but and they say like when when you engage dudes, I'm sorry I'm laughing, but it's like funny. When you like engage dudes, don't ever put your finger at them. don't ever do that. Or don't ever like put your hand up, I'm known I do that because like I get very defensive but I don't like get in people's face like caveman, "Woo, would you see about me? I'm coming to get you," This is stupid. I had this professor, my John, my buddy, he knows. Whoever's, if there's anybody listening, he knows. We had this guy, we took this class. We took a college class together. He's younger than me, but I needed the credits or whatever. It was Anthropology 101. I'll never forget it. And we go, and it wasn't on campus. It was at this Vandy Camp bakery. It used to be like I guess that's where they made the cookies and the stuff. It was cool. It was Atwater Village. So it kept the sign, but it's a school now. But they have like after the after hours, they have classes after hours, nightclub. But they have like adult classes at night or whatever. We needed the college credits, so we go and it's like 7 o'clock at night already, and we get there a little early for the class, and we know where the room is. We go in the room, and there's some students there, so we sit down, we're waiting, and like where you live in Hollywood and stuff, we're used to like homeless people, like either trying to pick up garbage, we're going through the garbage cans, like these guys, they walk like, they came from the Cro-Magnon days. There's like Cro-Magnon, Neanderthal, which I learned it's Neanderthal, not Neanderthal. I know people like say Neanderthal, man, and but these guys like so it looks. I mean, it's sad. I don't know, but the mental problems and stuff. But they're going, they're coming, and they know like they go to the garbage can, they look in, they're looking for whatever, or they see like a cans, they pick it up and they got like the recycling and stuff, and then they're out their way. So we're sitting there, and then this guy comes in. He comes in. I swear, he comes in like this, and I like, he comes around like the table. We're at the tables, and he goes by like there's a chalkboard, a professor, and there's like a garbage can there, and this guy comes in like this, And I was like, sir, hey, there's no no recycling. I know I'm laughing, but it's true. So like, he comes in, the guy, and I go, hey, and I'm a little older, so I'm a little, I try to stand there. I go, hey, sir, there's no recycling here. There's no, and it turns out that's the professor. The guy is like, he writes his name on the board, Dr. Bartlett or whatever, you look it up, the guy, and he's, look doctor of anthropology, go figure, right? So the guy, and I thank God I didn't say it because like I was ready to say, homeless out, like no vagrating, no no soliciting, no what do you call it? Hanging around? No, I was gonna say no loitering, no loitering here. This is a classroom. The guy's a fucking doctor of anthropology. I mean, I was like, what the hell? I think you don't know what people do. But I'll just never forget that guy. He comes in and he walked around. Like when you walk around, to like write stuff. He goes, he'd write on the board, and he just kept that. He goes, hominid is not equal to hominoid. Right on the and this is back like in the 10 years ago. Still, the internet people were using like Yahoo looked answers up, and my buddy John goes, according to Google, and the guy, he got like you could see the anger of like the ape like mind this guy had. He goes, that's not necessarily right, Google man. It's that day he stuck with that, like see any put down any comment could last forever, like he'll never forget, he goes, I remember that guy pointed at me and he goes, hey, Google man, Google. Meanwhile, it's the biggest search engine. Everybody uses it now. So he thought ahead. My buddy Johnny, he's smart. He's smart. Like he was young. He says, dude, I don't care. You're fucking, your Neanderthal, your Neolithic wisdom. It doesn't apply today. This is the 21st century. This is a guy, we use Google. You don't have to open up. When I was young, you wanted to know something, you had to open up the Encyclopedia Britannica or the World Book. There's no computer. You couldn't like look up, oh, what does that mean? Pull out your phone. You had to get into this. Okay, A, B, C, D, Q there. Okay, let's look up. What does that? What do you mean? Quasar. I don't know. Or dictionary. A giant. My friend Ruben calls it a doorstop. Like it's big like this. And it's like it's fun. You go through. But that's the old school way. It's old school. It's leave that for the silverfish. They live in there. I don't know. They eat the paper or what they just that's their home. You're every time he opens up the silverfish go running. It's like, dude, you're leave them alone. That's their fun. They're bookworms. They're learning or something. So, it's interesting. I got so far off topic here, but I was relating like life world experience to this my endeavor. Now, oh, okay, so it's called wannabe. Like, hey, you think you're a tough guy? The generic the terms. If you notice, like for me, and see the problem is, they say that okay, the reason you get old because you stop acting young. And what I mean by that is that I'm not saying pretend you're 12 years old anymore. And and even I'm not saying go to these young hipster clubs. I know, I go to these places, but these high-end restaurant bars. I mean, come on, man. It's like you should have people with all ages, but apparently there's a lot of young people that they come from money, so their egos, they go and it's like some of these women, they're like just coming into their prime. They're, when I say that, of course I'm talking 25. They're of age, of course, but it's like I want to see what's out there. And for the most part, I'm not impressed. Like they're just not. I don't know. It's not like they have to be my age or older, but I've kept a very open mind when I go to these places. I told you, I've gone to places where these people are like way younger than me. I've gone to places where they're way older than me, and I see kind of a general like generalization of people, like what the way they carry themselves, what they do, and everything. There's just like a commonality that it doesn't. I know what's going on. Unfortunately, I was very surprised that couple nights ago. I didn't think like the young people were capable of that type of a bluff. Doing that. Definitely something I'll never forget because I know that what they're capable of. I don't respect it. I don't respect anybody trying to inflict harm on intimidation. That's nonsense. And how do you solve that? Because you can't control people, and I don't get mad over things you can't control. I can't stop somebody from getting in my face. I'm gonna kick your ass. What I can do is that if they try to really like either grab me or something, I can fucking let them have it. Like first. I mean, again, most professional fighters do not go out looking for trouble. They're paid professionals. They're not. Do they go to bars sometimes? Yeah, but they're again. You notice they don't get mad. They stay calm. If you watch like Bruce Lee stuff, I know it's a movie, but still, the reality is he's just he's his mind is there. It's like if somebody comes up and they could be like pounding, doing all this kind of shit. I'm gonna fucking get you, and like they're spending so much energy in that. Everything is going, and they think like the tornado it's gonna come and it's gonna blow right through whoever it is that they're picking on. But it's not going to happen because there's only a couple different ways. There's a couple things they can do. They have to grab, they have to punch, or they have to kick. And I guarantee you, I can almost with 100% certainty, somebody's mad. They're going to try to grab or punch, and that's the thing. And they're going to try to do it like fast, and they're gonna do it the wrong, the incorrect, the least efficient way. So I'm using logic is I don't drink anymore. And if somebody gets all mad, I'm gonna get you, And I watched like was it Master the guy? He's a teacher, and this is becoming so easy for me because like as somebody that's danced and done the dance, I mean my hands are just it's so easy for me to flow, like so I'm just practicing different things. I mean so I watched. He's got like the dummy thing, bam, bam, like, and so I'll just stand there and just say, okay, well, how do I do this? How do I, move my head around? Somebody's going to do something here. And then if they try to do something, then immediately I'm going to beat them to it. It's like, there was this one guy, he had a martial arts studio near me, and he retired. And I talked with him, I forgot what he taught. Maybe he taught Shotokan, but I remember, it's Hungarian. And, it's Emil Farkas. Yeah, and he goes, I could handle, I can hold myself against 99.9% of everybody. And think about this: anybody that is going to try to jump you with in an alley or in front of a club, or jump you or try to like get mad and teach you a lesson. Those people are so in that 99%. I mean, it's like you're going to kill them if you know what you're doing. They're gonna wind up in the hospital, and they're gonna be like, okay, you know what, I'm done with this. Like you're gonna now. It's not your job. I thought about it. It's not my job, but if I learn, and not anybody else's job to teach you that lesson, that you shouldn't pick on people. But it is your job to not be bullied around. There's a difference. There's a huge difference because you can't. They're saying you can't teach stupid. You can't teach stupid, and that's a bad kind of stupid because if you're going to try to hurt somebody, you are fucking stupid. I'm sorry, I don't care. Like that's not how you teach somebody anything. You teach through caring and understanding and sympathy. Not everybody's the same. A tough love. Well, then fuck you and your tough love because that's not no inflicting pain on somebody is not teaching them anything. And that's not why that I'm learning how to fight and defend myself. I'm doing that for two reasons. Because number one, it builds your confidence so that if somebody tries to, you're not going to run. I'm getting too old to run. Everything hurts. So, if somebody comes at you like this, in your mind, you're going to say, hey, I can hold my ground. God forbid somebody tries to do something. That's it. That's it. What you're doing is you're protecting yourself. Now, the thing is that, sometimes by protecting yourself, sometimes you have to inflict pain, and it's that just comes with the territory. That comes because they're going to try to first. If you don't, I mean, then what's gonna happen? I mean, yeah, like sometimes go like this. You just keep moving out of the way, but you have to end the fight, um, and you can do that fairly quickly and easily. I'm not there to put on a show. Dancing was different. It was more putting on a show. Like when I would do my thing, like people watching, it's like, fuck, he's so fluid. I mean, but I it's like I'm doing like a performance kind of thing. Like I'm doing a that's just it was my fun. It was like my high. But I got to be honest with you. The reason I gave it up, or it's still in my art. It's still like go out and do. But you know, that's why I started this channel, because it's like I'm not getting my needs met. So and the only thing, if something is not working for you, you have to change your approach. And I also don't like getting bullied around. That really, really, really bothered me. You know, it was just, nobody, you're not, the people that they just try to get to the bottom line of it. When they ask me, did they eat you? Look, you could psychologically damage somebody really bad if you put somebody in a room and I mean, I'm trying to think of some type of psychological experiment to where you're really not hurting somebody, but you're doing something that's fucking with their mind continually. You're going to fuck them up. It's just that's the way it works. There's ways. And this is what happened a couple of days ago. I just couldn't believe, what these guys were. Just it was ridiculous for me just trying to hold my ground. So basically, I said enough, and I said, okay, well, if you don't change, you're going to, especially like with what I'm trying to do, because I talked about, warrior mentality. And warrior mentality, when it comes to those women, it's a couple approaches, but it's very like in there, and most guys in the society, they're going to be shocked, and there's only a couple of different ways to respond to being shocked. Actually, I know I talked about the 100 scale. The 100 is where they're gonna fucking try to kill you. The 0 is where they're gonna be docile, like laughing. Yeah, this guy's really funny. And then there's the middle ground, like, what are you doing, dude? Are you fucking crazy? Like, so I'm expecting more of like the guys, like, what is this guy trying to do? Kind of thing. They're most guys don't do that. But again, I'm not most guys. And the problem is, I'm not there to try to show them, hey, I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. What's that stupid song these idiots come up with? Nothing. Um, but, you know, if we really just break this thing down to what my goal is, you have to do things a little different. Now, I did listen to an audiobook last night, or most of it, Seduction, and they talk about like the guys like Don Juan and, the charm and the way that, you get into a woman's mind and everything like that. I agree. Okay. A lot of power, a lot of thing in that. But you see, what a lot of people don't realize is that you can't even get to that point if you have some type of paralyzing fear keeping you from the approach to the ones that you like. And so that's the core of the reason of what I do. These pickup artists, they go around that. They go around the core. They're saying, what you do is, okay, you take anything, any woman that's anything that's, okay, or they even say take whatever you can get, anything. If you have paralyzing fear of shyness, and you just, you trade up, like, you trade in, and after you get that one, then you trade up to a better model, like a car or something like that. And he said it doesn't work it doesn't work like that, because guys, they don't. Well, a woman is not an inanimate object; it's a person, and a feelings, there's attraction, and they bond. They try to bond with you. Like it's in a guy. Most guys, they're not going to say, well, you're not. You're just like an old car. They're going to read you. They're going to know. Like, and if you're inexperienced, and if you're really shy, it's like, I'll be honest with you, like the first woman that gives you a chance, that's it. They're gonna say, okay, that I'm yours. Like I'm married. It's like I don't want to talk about my. I don't know. I don't know what most guys are thinking. But I know I have one friend. He's been married for he's older, and that's it. Like settled for that. That's it. And I guess if he's happy, good for him. But it doesn't apply to me. It doesn't apply to the really rare kind of anomaly kind of guy that I call, like that I think myself is. I'm not saying I'm special or anything, but a little different when it comes to what I like. Like what I feel that what I'm trying to get. And yet, my friend said, "Well, be careful what you say." And I said, "Well, look, you know what? If you don't want to, I let things go like off the cusp. If I say something that I feel, oh, I'll correct myself. But I feel the only way to go after it is just to be really, direct and straightforward. This is the kind of woman. If when I see it, I'm gonna go right in there. Okay, period, period. And what's going to happen is the guys are going to become defensive. Now, what if it's another girl sitting there? He said, okay, you want to analyze that situation? So another girl sitting there, I say, look, kind of, I know she's there. You can't but you have to say, look, do you mind? Can I ask your friend about this? Because I just love her style here. It's so beautiful. I relate with, and just and it's hard. I know when you're flying solo because it's two, and the other girl's like she's gonna be a fan. How come you really likes her? Just because she's got big tits or something or whatever. Like I'm sorry. Like you're. I'm one guy. Like I. It would. I don't think both of them were like, well, hey, you want to fuck us both? Like I don't think they're gonna. They're gonna. It doesn't work that way. Maybe in the porno movies and the. It's funny because a lot of those chicks, you see those two chicks with a guy, they're lesbians anyway. They don't care. They're not. They're. It's like the producer comes out and says, "Hey, okay, so what I want to have here, I make fun of, what I have here is like, okay, so you make out with you." And the guy, it's funny, like they're all gay, right? But they're doing like a straight scene. It's so stupid. What I want, okay, so the two girls, they're making out there, and then he's gonna come in, get it, come in, he's gonna come in there, and then he's gonna go, yeah, and then finally, and then and then so then you're gonna eat the swap or whatever, and you spit it in his mouth, and they spit in that mouth, and he licks it up there, and you suck it down there, and like it's like so stupid. I guarantee, like those women, like they're lesbians and they're sucking this guy like he's, and then it looks like, oh, they're all like, oh my god, it's incredible. Oh my god, it's the greatest. Oh yeah, and people watching this stuff going, wow, like this is wow, this would be incredible. This is what I and those people they're all gay and they don't care about each other and she don't care about her and he doesn't care about her and they don't care about him and they need like a fluffer whether it's called it's a fluffer or something like that the I know I'm way off topic but I just get it out so the gay guy needs to be looking at and there's some guy there like going and that gets him excited. He doesn't care about those women. He doesn't give a shit, and he's just doing because it's a gay for pay or I don't know what it is, but it's like so the whole thing it doesn't it's all nonsense, like it's all and the producers like yes oh so good oh so good and they sitting there going I'm gonna make money I'm gonna he pays like gives the girls like okay here's 1,500 for you easy one for you and then the guy like here's a 700 for you and now I'm going to edit this I'm going to edit it and edit it and then I'm going to put it like in the back in the day they did the box the VHS or they put the porn in the box or the DVDs and stuff and they make like a million copies and that's it and it goes on and and so I know I'm talking about this but I'm just thinking about how ridiculous and that's the thing and then people buying they were horny like me like I saw it look at the box I see the girl and I remember this Caesar guy that I knew I'd hang out in the store and this guy had like fucking stacks like piles of the tapes and everything and it's like these women there look incredible like how are you going to say no how are you not going to want because what you're doing, you're not getting it out there. You're not getting it out in the real world. So like, I think, yeah. He goes, Charles, this, bring back the tapes when you're done with it. So like I bring it back to Caesar. That's the emperor, the emperor of porn. The guy, he had all these tapes. So I would watch this stuff, and I'd bring it back to me, and I was like, just wow. I mean, this is like, geez, look at how much fun this is. This is incredible. But the reality is what I just told you. I told you the what's it called? The Wizard of Oz, the Wizard of I was gonna say the Wizard of Id, but no, it's like, do not look at the man behind the curtain. Do not look at the man behind the, do not, nope. It's a Wizard of Oz. It's a farce. It's a ruse. There's no wizard. It's not magic. It's a ruse they're playing on you, and it's done psychologically. It's now you can watch for free. Like people, that's the thing. But we're talking back in the day. That's how people made a lot of money. Now they make it off of advertising. But back then, that was it. And now they got like, women got kind of smart now. They say, well, I need to make money. I need to make. I have a friend, he says that, no names, but he goes, yeah, I need to make money. So think about, like, if it's a woman, a porn star, he goes, I need to make money. So, but I don't want to take it in my ass. So what do I do? So the woman, the woman's thinking to myself, she goes, oh, what do I do? So what I do is I get a camera like this, and I put myself on there, and I, do like a strip dance and everything, and I don't even have to see these guys. So it's like, they got these sites now. The OnlyFans, the Patron. I thought it was a drink. It says, oh, do you Patron? And I go, no, I don't drink anything. And they go, you don't know. They don't know what you're talking about. They said, no. These things. There's these websites, Chabberbait or whatever. Like, and that's what it is. The guys pay, and it's like they watching, like, and they're going, watching the women, like doing, and it's like they're paying, and they're doing it themselves. It's like it's the same thing. They're taking an easy way out of something. I know I'm laughing about it, but it's really sad because it's like what it is. It's like saying it. It's like I can't. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Like this is the way I'm on the internet. I'm seeing these beautiful the women I like here, but I can't. In society they're not giving me. So like that I have to like do this. So like, I don't have a choice. So that's a problem because then what happens is you say I don't have a choice, then that means like you're fucked because now it's like you already admitted defeat. You go, gosh, like I that's what you see it on television. You see it on the internet or whatever, like on the screen in front of you. You go, yeah, but you're never gonna have it live. Now the thing is, I kind of said to myself, all right, well, fuck this. What I'm going to do is because even those are the kind of women I like, I'm going to seek them out. Okay. Like I felt like that's like a step forward. It is better. It's like, you know what? I'm tired of watching this on television. I want the real thing. So like what I would do is I try to find out, and say, okay, well, get their email. They gotta be, there's ways to contact anybody. And isn't anybody available if the price is right? Like you would think, right? It's, yeah, in some cases it is. In some cases, it's not. It depends. But I've been with some of them, and it's like they travel like around town, and I'll tell you something. Like they get all dolled up and everything, and you go to their hotel when they're there, and it was like depending on the thing, it could be $400 for a half an hour. It could be 600. It goes up from there. It's definitely gonna be. It's not gonna be cheap. And what you're paying for is when they open the door. That's what you're paying for because when I will tell you something, like when you see those ones that are really really and they open that door and they're done up, you're just like, wow, and that's what you're paying for. You're paying for that live wow. They're not going to reenact scenes with you. They're not going to, I mean, they might get you off something. It depends. It depends. Like what the thing. But I said to myself, I have to, if I don't, I want these experiences. And I think in life, that's what life is about. It's about experiences. You're going to die one day no matter what, like that's inevitable. All of us are. And I say to myself, okay, well, I need money. You see, now I'm saying that again. Like, I need money, but I want these experiences. So, like, I'm sitting there going to myself, shit, okay, well, they're in town. If you don't pay, then you get no experience. So they have you literally by the balls, literally. So it's like, if you want that, that's what it costs. And I try to negotiate. Like, I remember this when I was when I was younger. I was 31 years old. I got this check. It wasn't that much. It was like 4,000. But back then it was decent amount. But I got like this $4,000, and I said, I want that girl, that porn chick, with the giant boobs. I saw her in the VHS tapes. So, name's kind of escaping me right now, but it doesn't matter. Who cares? So, like, I went to Vegas with the money, and I remember she told me over the phone. She goes, "It's $1,000 an hour," and I said, "Fuck, and I didn't. I said, can you do a half an hour for 500?" And she goes, "Yeah." She was reasonable. She was reasonable. And so I remember I was at Circus in the Manor, and what happened when she's, like, I got the room. I'm there. I stayed for a couple of days, and you need a key to get into, like, the Manor. That's like there's like there's no lobby, but it's like a door that leads in, and you walk down the hall to your room. So she called me and she's, "Oh, I'm outside. Can you just come out and get me?" So I went outside, and I remember, like, this is when she was in her prime. I don't want to tell you what she looks like. That's why I don't want to say her name, because what she looks like now, it's like, just, I wouldn't even give her, even she wouldn't pay, even if she paid me, I wouldn't, just doesn't look nothing like she was in her prime. She was in her prime like 17 years ago, or kind of toward the end of it. It was not bad. So I just never forget when I went and I let her in. I just looked and I was like, just like, well, that's what money buys. Like, it's you're paying to see it. And so I guess some of these women on camera, they might not. I don't know. Like, I see some of these women, they probably really like wow in person, but you don't know. You don't know. More than likely, though, like, I have pretty good taste. So that's the thing about it. Um, but anyway, so what I did was, yeah, I would go to the room, and I just gave her $500, whatever, and she's like, "Oh, I'm kind of a simple guy." He's like, "Oh, you want to do this, do that?" I go, "Yeah, well, you get one pop, And I thought, it's, oh shit, like, it's, yeah, that's how it works. They just tell you straightforward. He goes, you know, have your fun, let's do our thing, and it's not like the movies. You think you're going, and it's going to be a long time, and it's going to be like this incredible, thing, and it's not. It is, but it is, but it isn't. I know it's China, but it's an experience. Hopefully it's a decent experience. Like, it is what it is. But the reason I mentioned is, I remember the phone rang. That's when I got extremely scared. I go, what the fuck? I didn't pay for phone service in the room. They're coming to arrest me. I was about to freak out. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? And I went to answer the phone, and I hear this woman's voice. She goes, "Hello," and I'm like, "Yeah," and she goes, "You want to see me?" And it's like, it's her friend, and it's this porn chick that to this day, I've always wanted to meet her. And again, I don't want any names. Who cares? Like, you want to know? She's just really, it doesn't. It doesn't. I know I'm supposed to be like open, honest with everything like that, but it's. I guess some things are just irrelevant, um, because it's more important to make the point. I know everybody wants to know, like, well, I want to know exactly what your type is. I go, well, why? Are you gonna help me get her? So no, it doesn't matter. Like, I like these women that I find really attractive. So what? It doesn't matter if you don't think she's attractive. Whatever, it matters. Believe me, if she wasn't worth anything, she wouldn't be asking 1,500 an hour, and she's getting it because it's hard. Believe me, I have fairly good taste. You know, women of that currency, they get paid. They charge, and they have clients. I don't. It doesn't matter. You might like this. You might like that. I like that. So anyway, she on the phone. So I calmed down for it, because I thought it was police. They're coming to get me. And the one I was with, she could have told me that, told my, that this, but it just kind of scared me for a second. But then I calmed down, and she goes, "What, do you want to see me?" And I said, "No, I can't afford it. I already gave her 500, and I don't want to blow through all my money." And this goes back to what I was talking about, regrets. I should have, like, I wound up going to the Wynn. I made a couple bets in Pai Gow poker, and I timed it out. And I guess I got lucky. I'm not going to get into gambling and the nonsense of that, but I got all my money back. And to this day, it like bothers me. Like I didn't, get to hang out with her. Ironically, I have her number, I have her cell phone number, and she travels with that other chick, the one that I paid the 500 with, and that one, I'll just tell you, Kayla, the one I paid the 500 with, she just does not look like. She does not look like. Now the friend, she still looks good. She still looks good, like whatever. She kept it up, or her shape and everything like that. And I said, I want to see her. I want to see her. And the thing is, like, I guess, she just doesn't need. She doesn't need the money. Like, I guess you got to hit her at just the right, perfect time. It's like, and I say to myself, I go, 1,500, fuck, that's a lot. That's a lot to kick down. Even for me now, I have it, but is it worth it? And it's like, you know, I'd say, of course, if it's you talk about it so much you wish it's worth it, but then you have to figure out, well, damn, like that money's going to be gone in an hour, and so I have to, like, you know substitute accordingly. Like I have to, be able to either make enough to where it's like some of these whatever football players or something. To them, it's like, hey, I want to see that. Boom, I pay. It's done. But for me, 1,500 is a lot. I try to negotiate. When she was in town, she was actually in town with Kayla, and I offered. I said, oh, it's 500, and she goes, oh yeah, she'll do it. And I was like so excited, like a couple years ago when she was in LA. And then she goes, oh, she's not feeling well right now. I was like, God damn it, like she wouldn't do it. So, you know, I know I'm getting off topic, but this does go back to experiences. Goes back to getting those experiences while you're here out of life, whatever it is. So, I'm gonna stick with, again. I know I gotta really. I'm talking about my own personal life experiences, but it's important because then you guys will get a understanding of as to why, like, I kind of developed this warrior mindset, about going after those women because that I like, because of that my life, I've had to pay that I haven't gotten, that it's the challenges and everything. So you'll be able to understand the quote unquote craziness that what is most people are going to consider that what you are, like what you're doing, because how is that considered normal? Like I heard a saying one time, they said, well, what's normal? Normal is what everybody else is and you are not. I got that from Star Trek Generations. I think it was Geordie LaForge. LeVar Burton said that when Malcolm McDowell, Dr. Tolian Zorn, had named, amazing. Sometimes you remember everything, like, and some great writing, sometimes, the movie was really good. Kirk died twice. That was the great Generations. Everybody want to know, like, some things people think about. They go like, how did James T. Kirk die? Everybody, you had to wrap things up, and it's nice that it's not nice he died, but it's nice that they figured out a real classy way for him to. What he did was, on the Enterprise B, the saving the ship, from the out of the Nexus, and then again coming back and then saving the planet, like from the thing. So he dies twice. It was really cool. I like that when he's on Enterprise B and then the captain, I forget the guy's name, like he's on the thing and because I got to go to engineering, and the captain, the captain of the Enterprise B, like he was on his way, and Kirk goes, no, wait, and Kirk sat in the chair first, like he was comfortable, like he was back at home, and then he immediately just, you see, like, he didn't have to think, he didn't have to hesitate, because that's what a master is, a warrior. They don't have to hesitate. They know what they need to do, and that's what he sat there for a second, for comfort, and then he just knew. He goes, no, wait, your place is on your bridge of your ship. He said, your ship. I go, I'll do it. And Kirk knew. I guarantee you, he knew that was probably he's going to die, but he didn't even think about it. That wasn't his thing. His thing was to save the ship. and he goes down there. Remember, he's like pulling the fucking things like that, putting the things in, and time's going, and then Kirk, you did it, and the ship's going away, and then the fucking whatever asteroid or whatever from the Nexus or whatever, that fucking energy ribbon, I'm sorry, it hits the fucking thing, and then you don't see it's gone, everybody who was ever in there, and you see like when the captain of the Enterprise B calls down, he says have Scotty and Walter Coin, Scotty and Chekhov meet me in engineering, and they see like, oh my god, was somebody in here? And Scotty goes, aye, so the whole thing was that, that's how they said history remembered Kirk saving the Enterprise B. But then he comes back, and because he's in the Nexus, and then Captain Picard, the whole thing, and it's some great lines. He goes, I was out saving you have a duty. And he goes, no, I was out saving the galaxy when your grandfather was in diapers. Like he's so William Shatner. I mean, he's a man, like he's fucking, you can't, like his mind is so sharp, because he's so well trained, at this, that he is Kirk, like he can just fucking, it's, I don't know, I know that guy, that Chris Pine guy, he's real good look, real good look, but he doesn't understand, no, like you don't understand, man, he has some mannerisms like, the Kirk thing and does, but no, dude, you don't understand. This guy holds, William Shatner holds the fort, because it's like Sean Connery was in James Bond, it's like just the epitome of cool. Like, you're not gonna, I mean, I admit some of these guys are okay, and stuff that they try, but there's a way that this guy, like, he owns the character. He's the first. He's in his mind. He goes, "This is who I am." The other guys are just pretending to be. It's like, well, how am I? This guy owns it. I can't. You want me to act like him? But he is James Bond. He is Captain Kirk. Like everybody in their mind knows who the man is, and so anybody that comes after is basically trying to do their best, and they do a hell of a job. They try, but they're insignificant. They're kind of like just they're after when you think who's James Bond, he's not. I was gonna say Roger Craig, who's baseball. Roger Craig, the manager of the Giants. Yeah, no, Daniel Craig. Like you guy couldn't. He couldn't hold the fucking. The piss bucket. For Sean Connery or anybody. You're the piss boy. Piss boy, come here, piss boy. You anybody know where that movie's from? That The History of the World, Part 1. I think there was no Part 2. At the end, they tried to show, but Part 1, the Mel Brooks, the king, he goes, piss boy, come here. He plays like a Renaissance. Remember, it's like the king. He's a Renaissance thing, and then or it was. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, the piss boy comes with a bucket, and his job is to stand there and hold the bucket till the king takes a piss in the bucket, and when he's done, the piss boy goes away. So that it doesn't smell. So that's the piss boy's job. So it's like I don't know why I thought about this. And then he looks in the camera and he goes like, "It's good to be the king," like. And I thought of it. I said, "Wow, that's the." And the way he looks in the camera and goes, "It's good to be the king." Like I'm fucking, I get whatever I want. I'm the fucking king. Like, and it's like in chess. I don't know why I'm relating, but in king is like the weakest piece. It's like, okay, you're protecting it, but you don't literally when you mate somebody, you go king me. You don't take somebody's king off the board. I got it. What? That's mine. I kill you. I kill you. Like it's like there comes. I'm trying to take their queen from them. It's funny in chess. If you take somebody's queen, they get like, what? What? You take my queen? I kill you. I kill you. And it's like it's kind of maybe the same thing. I know there's analogies for it all for everything because the queen in chess is the most powerful piece. You don't, sometimes there are swap queens or do they swap queens. Yeah, I'll make you a deal. Like I know this chick. Can I swap? Can I swap her so I can have fun with yours? It'd be kind of cool. I know they have, what people are thinking, all the millions and millions of people that are watching this. they're thinking of the swingers clubs and stuff, and it's like, look, I even looked those up. You think I'm stupid? You don't think I look at it? I leave no Warrior Junior leaves no stone unturned. Okay, no stone unturned. The problem is you don't know what's underneath sometimes, and how heavy the stone is. But no. So what I do is, where was I going with this? Yeah. So I looked it up. I was like curious. Wow, swingers. So that means I get to go to this place. I could fuck as many women. I could. And you look up and they go, no, you have to go there with somebody. You know, it's a couples thing. You can't go. You go by yourself. You know, it doesn't. No, it says there. It goes. No, it doesn't work that way. It's not for single guys that go there that want to get laid by all these multiple women. What do you think you are, Tijuana or something? You know, so that's another thing. You know, I could believe me, I could spend forever telling you about the stories of that where they lined up. You know, okay, I got to admit it is an interesting place, but the police ruin it, and they use bullying tactics down there, and that's why it's like, well, a warrior goes to get what he wants. Yeah, well, you know what? Let me tell you something. If the there's a couple exceptions. I talked about like Brock Lesnar, the who's that guy? You're next. You know, he'll eat you. You know, he's Bill Goldberg. And the final exception to the Warrior Junior of not letting anybody stop you is the Tijuana police, okay? Because they have guns, okay? So like you're not gonna go down there, going, I'm coming to your country. It's not the United States. You have to understand it's Mexico. And so you're thinking, like, I'm the warrior, like in the mind here, I'm coming to Tijuana. And the second you step in there, it's like you're not in your land. It's not America anymore. It's not, I was just say Estados Unidos. It's not a United States. It's a Mexico, the Mexico, like wherever they do. I don't know all their laws down there, but I can tell you something that I can tell you what the Tijuana police, if they look at you and they go, amigo, you go, amigo, and what are you gonna go? What's up? They're gonna fucking take they're gonna go, stay right there, friend. Like, stay thirsty. They're gonna go, stay thirsty, my friend. Like they're gonna fucking, and you're gonna do whatever they tell you. And I know it's like the police don't. They do that. Let me tell you, I was walking there and I was like looking around, and I got off the bus. I took the El Cuchuro. I don't know what it's called. If there's a Greyhound that goes to Tijuana, and it takes you there. Now this is before I didn't have a passport. Back then you didn't need a passport, because my friend told this guy that worked at the Saddle Ranch, the security guy, I think it's Justin, name's coming back to me. He goes, go to fucking Tijuana. Go to the bars down there. I'm telling you. And I said, I gotta see this. And so, like I said, the warrior leaves no stone. And even back then, I was still, not really the warrior mindset, but I had the mind. I said, I gotta go. So I went down there, and I remember. So I get off the bus thing, and I'm all excited. I'm like, because like when I would go to Vegas, I'm so excited to be there. It's like adult Disneyland. Like, yeah, and so what happened was I got off the bus, and there were two Mexican police. I don't know, federales. I think those are like the FBI, but this was like the regular police. And I was in a good mood. I said, and I walked away. And the second I walked away, they go, "Hey!" I heard "Hey!" And I look around. It's the police. They're trying to ask me. And I go, "What? Yeah, hi." And they go, "Sir, you okay?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm saluting. I'm here." And he goes, don't do that, like don't do that. And they go, "You on drugs?" And I go, no. And I was like working out, but it's funny, you could buy steroids down there. They got like all these signs in the pharmacies, Deca Derval, and the police, like, immediately they were on me, like, "You on drugs, sir?" And I go, no, I'm just happy to be here. And he goes, "You're staying right there." And I go, yeah. And immediately I went from like, being so happy to, oh fuck, I mean, where the fuck am I? What have I done to myself? And they start like, one guy's patting me down and stuff, and he goes, "Have a nice day." And I was like, just like that. I was like dumbfounded. I go, "What the fuck just happened?" And I said, I better like do my thing and get out of here, get back to. And it was, I take that from Star Trek 4, the voyage home, like Kirk goes, he goes, when they fly on the Klingon vest, the bird of prey to back, they go through the time travel, and they wind up back at San Francisco to save the planet. They had to go back in time. They land in San Francisco Bay Park, and he gets out of there and he goes to the crew and he goes, let's do our job and get out of here. Our planet's waiting to save it. And so in my mind, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, let me do my job and get out of here, because there's these people like they're primitive, primitive, primitive culture, whatever's going on down there. They fucking, the police. So luckily I found that I was walking around during the day and I'm looking. I said, where's this place? Where's the? And they said, oh, one guy told me, amigo, this is Atleta bar. It's for you. And I said, oh, okay. So like I'm walking and I go, I find this bar, and luckily that's the place. There's a couple bars like that, but that was the one. I know Chicago bars, but that Atleta bar, and they have the hotel rooms up nice upstairs, and that was like, I'm trying to remember, it was like $60 or for the woman, and then $11 for the room. I think my friend told me it went up. Inflation went up a little bit. They raised the peso price or something. It's dollars, but like I remember, like I waited, and there's all these chicks there, and they're all standing around. They're like, first come, first serve. And I'm looking at it, and I said, well, do more women come in? He goes, oh, the shifts, yeah, they change. They get, and I'll tell you, I waited, and then like this woman came in, and every guy was like just like this, and yeah, including me. I was like this, and again, this is pre Warrior Junior, like I know I'm way off topic again, but this is the stories. I know you guys all want to hear about my my successes and failures and stuff. Gives everybody a laugh. So I enjoy telling. I enjoy telling about what I wasted my life trying to do. So anyway, not a waste of life. It's okay. So what happened was she walks in, and I my God, like, and I said, that's it. And I was like, just wow. So I approached, I kind of approached, and there's a bar there, and it's like, she goes like, she spoke English. She goes, you want to buy me a drink? And I thought to myself, wait, she's trying to pimp me out for like a drink here. She ain't gonna give me no action. And then my negative, I go, no. And she goes like, oh, and then and she just like walked away. I go, what did I just do? And I didn't really sink in. It goes, Mike, you're in Tijuana. You're in a third world country. Like it's what goes on. You don't understand. This is like they're gonna give you. There's a hotel up there. I'm used to Los Angeles. I'm used to like women that just try to manipulate. They're not giving you. I didn't realize it didn't sink in yet. My brain, it wasn't working because I was drinking back then too. The thought, like just stay thirsty, my friend. That guy, I thought he was like telling you that's what you got to do. So I was drinking, the Dos Equis down there. I remember like, and I think they make a Tres Equis down there. I don't remember, but it's like I'd stay away from things that have 3 X's on them because like in the cartoons, the cartoons, that's like a sign of the poison, the 3 X's and stuff. So I don't know. All right. So anyway, let's get to what happened. So I see her go, and I'm like shaking I'm going, what did I just do? What I just do? And she goes with a guy. She goes out the thing, and I'm like, I went out, and they went upstairs. I had to go. I had to see, and so they went upstairs, and I was like, what did I do? What did I, you fool, that was what you wanted, and you didn't get it. So I went back in the bar, and I'm just staying there, and then she came back. She came back she came back with the guy, and they sat down for a second. They were talking. And I said to myself, you know what, Mike? Like now it's like either you're gonna make your move now, or you're. I don't know if there's a bridge like in Tijuana. I think I'm going over the bridge. I'm going. I go insane. And so I went right up to her nicely, and I says, look, I'm from Los Angeles. I'm really sorry. Like I really like you and everything. And she looks at me. She goes, you want to go upstairs? I said, I want to go upstairs. She goes again. She goes, you want to go upstairs? I said, I want to go upstairs. And she goes, let's go upstairs. And I was like, all right. Like she took me, and we went upstairs. Like $60, $12. And, she took care of me. It was pretty quick. But, I just, and then the thing is, I women in clothes and stuff. The clothes can hold it. It's amazing. You gotta understand hair and makeup and women, and especially makeup. Like everything. I know it's a huge thing. And the clothes and everything can be done if a woman, can make somebody like look. You could take the hottest woman, whatever. You put her in a potato sack, you're not going to be able to really see anything. You're not going to know. It just depends. That's why the clothing industry is so big. It just depends. They women that don't want to show it, they'll wear black or something sometimes. I don't want them to see. People are very self-conscious, very, very, like, especially women, what they show. They know exactly. You'll notice if they're wearing short stuff and they're walking around, they pull down, because as they move and their body's moving, the clothes are going to stretch, pull, and usually go up. And they don't like that. So they don't want to show. I don't want to be known as a loose, like I'm not a Jezebel, I'm not a easy, I said, well, and my friend, my brainiac friend, my wise friend, no names, probably listening right now. He goes, then why are they dressing like whores? Why are they dressing? And I says, dude, you don't understand something. It's like they might be dressing that way. Doesn't mean that they're that way, because they can solicit attention that way. I know it's a dumb analogy, but we're not women, so you don't know. You don't know. There is a saying: if you got it, flaunt it. Show it off, because it ain't gonna last forever. Like, especially when it comes to a lot of women, their bodies, there's no way. There's absolutely, I don't care who it is or how much plastic surgery or whatever they have. Everybody, bodies change. So no woman's gonna look like they did when they were in their prime, and they'll always talk about that. Like the girl I was with, she said, "You'll never when you should have saw me when I was." Of course, because their body is solid. At their young. I mean, I've seen women that aren't even in good shape when they're young. God, and then I've heard of things happen. They're young and they're not in good shape. They get older, they get in really good shape. But for the most part, the general consensus is that they're not going to look like they did when they were younger. That's it. Like it's, and you look at these celebrities. I know, the rarities, the odd things. The best trainers, and they have money, and they're getting like certain work done that like you can't even barely tell. But that's just, again, these are like anomalies. It's like there's few. There's a couple of people do this. Most people, I could tell. I know what a 50-year-old woman looks like. I could tell the difference between somebody. They're not going to fool me. I've been around too long. I can look at them. I know. And they all want to be told they're young. They're young. In a way, it's kind of insulting. If you tell a woman that's older, you look so young. In a way, you're saying that she looks stupid. You look stupid is what you're saying, because most young people are not very intelligent, and it's not their fault. They're uneducated. They haven't lived enough life, and they're going to make mistakes. So when you tell somebody that's older, goes, boy, you act really young. In a way, you're saying you're a fucking idiot. Like in a nice way. I mean, there's ways. To use terminology, manipulative ways to you know, and they'll be walking away and thinking, "Oh, he said I was so young." I said, "Well, that's not what I said. I said, no, you act very young. There's a big difference. I'm calling you a fucking idiot, but without using that word." So I mean, there's ways to kind of like to fuck with people, without calling them the generic, like you're a why, so they can understand it. Why not use trickery? Use manipulative. Somebody throws a low ball combo, like they try to throw a curveball at you, fucking bunt, lay down a bunt, like it. So, and have them try to throw, have the third baseman or whatever try to throw you out. So, the problem is that most people, they don't want to. It takes work. Everything takes work. That's worth that. If you don't, you're gonna go along with everybody else. Like, so for example, I told you, like, what I'm trying to do now with the pickup, it's well, it doesn't take much work to be brave and go up there. Yeah, it takes a lot of work going to the fucking gym and fucking practicing your defensive skills. God forbid something happens, so, but that comes, you if you want this, you got to be willing to do all of this. I mean, that's how it works. The problem is, I get into, like, what was that? The governor, he goes, the guy can, yeah, in 1848. Where was it? It was Sutter's Mill. He discovered the gold in California. Yeah, the first guy. It's true because there was nobody look. He was looking. He was the first prospector. He goes, unless you're like that guy, he's lucky he was here first. So I get that, but the whole thing, and then everybody came, all the idiots, they all think they're gonna find, and they all found nothing. I think it was Donald Trump's dad or something. He sold equipment, and food, like in these morons, these idiots that all came out here, all thinking that, and they came from everywhere. They came from like the east, the far east, and they came from the east of like New York, the west, the Dust Bowl, Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Sooners, soon, yeah, they'll be here soon. So they came from everywhere to get the hell out of there. So going to, the West, there's a gold in them there hills, and they got there and they found there's no gold there. There's nothing there, except some smart business guys going, hey, these people are going to get hungry. They need tools and they need to eat. So they were selling that. I think it was Trump's dad, he came up with like a provisions. I'm selling eggs, I'm selling, like food, I'm selling renting equipment. Here, go, try. And they're not finding nothing. And these guys that are providing these provisions and food, they're making money. They're the ones collecting. They're fucking becoming rich. They're fucking smart. They're solving a problem, their needs, and meanwhile, so they use that money. It's like, well, go ahead and go look for that gold while I start buying up some of this. What's this sleepy fishing village called San Francisco? It's by the water. There's nothing there, but I can buy this land for nothing, and it's a good. There's fish there. It's land. People might, like, and whoever bought that and they sat on that, and then all of a sudden, guess what happened? Those people that came for the gold, they stayed because they said, well, there's nothing here. Wait a minute. We're not finding any gold here. There's nothing here. And they go, well, wait a second. There is something here. There's good weather. There's water. There's fish. I could settle down here. I'm not going back to Oklahoma to that Dust Bowl, that shit fucking place. And those people, whatever, they came from Asia or whatever. I ain't going back there. The fucking whatever. I came all the way here. I'm already here, and maybe I could build a life. Well, guess what? They need a place to live. And the guy that owned the fucking all that land goes, the people went to him again. So like they said, well, I want to buy some land. And this guy that started by selling eggs and hammers and whatever, pickaxes, whatever, now he owns land. So it's like these people, like they working, and so this it basically these guys that became these super wealthy people. What did they do? They just basically they were one step ahead of everybody else. Now, again, the one guy that discovered is the lotto winner. He's the lotto winner. It's like great, but that's not the case for most people. That's not the way it works. So I know I'm way off topic, but I'm making some excellent points here. The guys, that were one step ahead, they're one step ahead. So then they own the land, or they would start building places to live, and then use the owner. And so like then he's got all the control and power, because he's like, well, I built this place that people need a place to live. It's like these places around me, if they're vacant, like, well, why are they building all this stuff? They don't care. It's like the Field of Dreams mentality. If you build it, they will come. It's a write-off, whatever. It's like they want that fucking land, that premier land in the premier area. It doesn't matter what it costs. It doesn't matter. Like there's a place, like there's this house that was run down, like it's like 5 blocks from me, and there's a nice apartment building right next to it. It's not, my apartment building is nice. It's like 12 units or whatever. And I'm walking by this old rundown house for years, and I try to figure out like who owns this thing. It's huge, and somebody could live there. And then the guy next door goes, oh, it's just sold. I go, well, how do you know this? He goes, well, because I own the building next door. And I go, oh, it's interesting. And I go, and then he concludes, he goes, and the building is sold too. And I went, what? And he goes, a developer came in. And I said, well, he gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. And I just sat there like, I mean, God, I know the saying, the rich get richer, but, he digressed. And I said, well, look, and I asked him, I said, how did you, he was an older guy. He was like close to 80 years old. He goes, well, look, in the late 80s, he was one step ahead, way ahead. He said he knew he had leverage. People need a place to live. And so he was able to get a loan or something way, way, way long ago. And I didn't want to pick exactly. I said, I go 8 million he gave me. He goes, not that much, but I know he got a sizable amount. One step ahead of everybody. And I guess that, like in fighting, it's the same thing. It's one step ahead, but it's weird because what sucks is that, like, if somebody comes at you, you have to let them go. There's no law that says you have to let them hit you first. But like if somebody's about to, you got to be one step ahead and fucking, take action quick, because if somebody does connect with you, they're going to try to finish you off. And unfortunately, when you get hit first, if it's in the face, you're gonna be incapacitated. Be able to take a shot. It's not like in a movie where, like, the guy's like this and takes a fucking punch and it does nothing. Like, it's not a cartoon. It's not in the real life, and it's not even like in a boxing ring where these guys, there's rules in boxing. Watch the low jab below the belt. I'm gonna watch let's have a good clean fight here. No, bar fights, street fights, somebody's going to jump you. It's not going to see. That's why I don't like just a Shotokan, because it's like, somebody's going to come at you and you go like this, like, it's like, what do you think? Like that guy, like he's going to fucking try to get you again, like, or he's going to fucking, and you're sitting there going, block, like, no. Like, I watch everything that's grappling and Wing Chun. No, the whole thing is, I'm going to be fucking faster than you. You're not going to fucking, you're not going to get a hand on me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fucking end it as fast as I can. I'm going to try to break something quick. And if something's broken on somebody, it's not like a hungry, a wounded lion. A guy is going to go, I had enough. All right. You broke my arm here, like, help. Oh, ambulance, like they tap out. They surrender. They give up. People are not as tough as you think. Those guys that came at me, they came at me. If I would have sprayed them and then fucking would have nailed them or would have grabbed them and kneed them, it would have been they would have said, okay. It's not like those goons I told you about in Batman where they just keep coming at you. It's a video game. So this is a video game, Kung Fu Master. If you wanna laugh, I mean, like, look that up on Nintendo or whatever. The Kung Fu Master. So basically what you're doing is you're the guy, the Kung Fu Master, and you can just punch and you can kick. That's it. And what you're doing is you're in this dojo, this building or something. There's floors. And what you got to do, the ultimate goal is rescue the girl, of course, at the end. But what happens is on every floor, like, there's a boss at the end. Now what happens is, like, you're going and they just keep coming after you. Like they come at you straight on, and you're walking and the music, and they're like little, like, average guys, and it just takes one punch, it's all, or a kick, and the guys, they're coming after you, and then you just, like, punch, or like one kick, and then they fall down, they fall off the screen, off the building or whatever, the dojo. They're out of the way. So they just keep coming. The guys keep coming, and the music, and now if they get too close, they can get you. They can. And sometimes they can actually grab you. You can kind of shake them off. I think it's Kung Fu Master. So, like, the whole thing is, now when you get to the end of the end of the road, when you get to the end of the dojo, at the end, there's a boss there. There's a guy there. You could do something. It's not a regular schmuck, and he's standing there, and it depends. He might come after you, or he could just stand there. It just depends. Now, I remember, I think the first guy, on the first level, he could throw like boomerangs at you or something, and it comes back, and he grabs it. So he's got like that lamp-shaped dish, the what are they called? Like, it's like those Asian farmers wear, to protect from the sun. It's kind of like a thing, but it's like kind of intimidating. Like, if somebody can fight and they're wearing one of those, you kind of want to turn around and go the other way. You don't know if lightning's going to come out at you or something. There's a movie, Big Trouble in Little China, where sorry, I pull my pants up. There's a Big Trouble in Little China where there's like the three storms, and one guy has that thing, and like you just like this, the lightning comes out, like Emperor Palpatine. It's like, dude, you win. Like what are you gonna do? Somebody, I don't care if you see somebody goes like this and lightning comes out of their fucking hands. You had better get the fuck out of there as fast as you can. There's no defense against it. What are you gonna do? Like, okay, yeah, pull out your fucking umbrella. There's somebody like goes like this, and they got the power of the lightning in their hands. It's sorry. It's not like the Force Awakens. Not Force Awakens. What was the last one? The Last Jedi should have been. No, the Voyage Home. I was Star Wars 9. The Rise of Skywalker. I'm sorry. And the thing at the end. The last. Remember what Palpatine does. Like he's blowing out. And the girl, she's like on her back, like she's just been fucked like a million times. She's sitting there, she's just looking at it, like fucking Daisy or whatever. She's sitting there like just like this, and then the voices start coming, like she should be eligible for SSI. Should be eligible for mental because she's hearing voices. She's hearing because I mentally crazy. She's sitting there going, they catch rise, the Jedi powers within, and she's like, rise, Rey, rise, you must. And then she gets up, and the fucking Palpatine stops, and he says, I don't remember the line, the tagline exactly, but he goes, let your death be the final, reminder of the end of Skywalker. He says something like that. And like, the music, the famous, I would play it. I wish I had it. Dum, 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 dum. And then I listen to what he's saying. He's talking shit. He's talking shit. He goes, you're nothing. Dum, 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 dum. You're a scavenger girl. You're a nothing. Dum, 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 dum. You're no match against the power in me. He says that. He goes, I swear, yeah. And then so she takes out the lightsaber, Hold on, let me get it. Hold on. He goes, I'm in the moment right now. Yeah. Hold on, I'm having fun. So like, she pulls out the lightsaber, like, and it can hold against, like she's like, she's got it, And he goes, the music's going, and he goes, dum, 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 you're no match for the power in me. And then he goes, I am all the Sith. He's going, and then she's like, she thinks for a second, and I know it's, and I said, what's going? I said, I thought about this because I wanted to write the climactic. I had so many ideas for these movies that they ruined Johnson. He fucking ruined everything. I had so many great ideas for these movies. I got 1,000,001 things to say, but I would say one thing at a time. So I'm saying, I said, I know I thought, okay, so she's gonna go. I am all the Palpatine. I thought she's gonna use the power of the Force. She's gonna do the lightning. She's gonna do, but no, she didn't. She didn't. I knew it. She pulled out. You said, let me get the other one. Hold on. Yeah. I know what happened. I know what fucking happened. She pulled out the other one. She pulled out the fucking. She goes. I'm all the Jedi. Like she goes and she pulled out the, and then it's so stupid because the thing is, he's like oh, like he can't. It's like he can't control his own power. Like he's I'm all the Sith. He's not. He's not. He said, well, where is everybody? Like I'm looking around. He said, there's no. Where's everybody? Where's Vader to help you? Like where's Darth Maul? Who's it? Darth Plagueis the wise. I was gonna say Darth Plagueis the smart. The Darth Plagueis the wise. There's nobody wise there. there's nobody. There was like these druid statues, and there's like these guys I saw like there's like these minions. They're like going like but they're not helping. They're not helping the emperor. You know, like the king. He's in trouble. Where's everybody to help the king? You know, like there's remember like Empire Strikes Back. There's like a million stormtroopers right there. You know, it's like all the TIE fighters and the Death Star. Everybody's there to protect the king. You know, like and then there, at the end there's nobody there. Like, do you remember like all those Star Destroyers? I know I'm so far off topic, but I don't care at this point. So what happened? There's like a million. There's all those Star Destroyers all lined up against each other. It's so stupid. I mean, what are they thinking? You know, like the whole movie. It's like they just didn't know what to do. Like I guarantee those idiots at Disney, they said to themselves, okay, well, you know, we got to do something. You know, we got to come up with you know, just we got to copy like Return of the Jedi, but not. And it was so stupid. They could have done so well. Like, you know, first off, The Last Jedi was supposed to be like Empire Strikes Back. They were supposed to be a really creative story. They had a great basis with Force Awakens, with a Snoke and everything like that. You know, he's so cool. That Snoke guy, you know, he goes like Kylo Ren, he goes, come to me. And I'm like, wow, this Snoke guy, you know, like this is going to be, you know, that girl has no chance against him. You know, there's no way. This is going to be a great story. Like, who's this guy? Who's her dad? I mean, there's so many great questions to ask. And what happened? Remember what happened at the end of Force Awakens? You know, she goes on that fucking mountain. You know, like she goes on the mountain and she finds him. You know, he finds Luke Skywalker at the end. You know, like he's like this. You know, and he's like, you know, and the music, the music is like really good, you know, like you know, that's so cool. I don't have the hair, but you know, he does and then she like pulls out the lightsaber to give him, you know, like, and it's like just wow, you know, and then you're like, this is so cool, like this is going, this is people are clapping. The J.J. Abrams. People are like, wow, the next movie, this is going to be what's coming next. And that's like, you know, after Star Wars, when they did Empire Strikes Back, a really good flow, the good flow of the story, because what happened, and then, you know, the Vader being the father, everybody, it opened it up. Like, you know, the Lucas had balls, you know, he had like the testosterone, like of a story to tell. Like, you know, it really just incredible. But these guys all lost it. They lost their gusto. Their needs are met. They made their money. They don't care anymore. You know, they did back then. You know, those guys. Look at Raiders of the Lost Ark. Look how incredible that story is. You guys used that energy they had to make something extraordinary. There's nothing like that ever going to be made. Anyway, so remember what happened in The Last Jedi? And, you know, that you knew it was over. The beginning, she goes and he takes it in his hand and he's looking at it, and it's like just, you know, exactly over the cliff, and I was gonna say the Borg got it, the Porgs or whatever they're called. They're like looking at it. What the fuck is this? You know, it's Master Skywalker. You know, I said, what the hell's going on here? And the Ruin Johnson guy, you know, the fucking, you know, you know, it's all his fault. It's all their fault. It's not him. He ruined it, but it's also Disney. You know, like they had a great thing. You know, and when the whole thing is like, you know, what happened was good. Okay, the thing with Snoke, and she comes in there. Kylo Ren brings her in there, and this dude is like, you know, and she's like thinks she's got something. You know, like she comes at him. She goes, yeah, and he goes, still that fire. You know, he goes. What does Snoke say? He goes like, you know, still that fire you have. Like, he's so confident. He's like, nothing you can do. He goes, you know, Skywalker thought he could do something. And he takes like the lightsaber, he puts it down next to him, and he goes, you know, you are like, you know, and he goes, you have, I like, and still that spunk, you know, like if you look up that word, that's like in the England terms, that's like a horny, you know, like it's funny, you know, it's still spunk. I'll give you my spunk. He tells her, you know, it's still that spunk you have, you know, it's really good. And then, you have the spirit of a true Jedi. I love that. It's a good line. It was going. And then what happened? They said, they probably sat there in the script. They go, what are we going to do? And they said, wait a minute, we're going to kill this guy? He goes, this is the whole thing. This guy he's the emperor. You know, what are we gonna do? You know, well, what we need to do is, we don't know. What are we gonna do? And wait a sec, we got a major problem here. And that was like the beginning of the end. Whoever was at that round table, they got to get, they sat there and they go, wait a minute, you want to kill off this guy now in the middle of the second movie? This is like the whole thing is building toward like the possible, okay, the Kylo Ren redemption, which is gonna happen. Like they know what did happen in the third movie, but we need a protagonist, an antagonist. We need a bad guy. What? And they we'll bring back Palpatine. What? But he was thrown down the chute, you know, like in Return of the Jedi. People are not going to fall for it. Palpatine. Remember he goes. He takes Kylo Ren. He goes, just as I once fell, so will the last Skywalker. You know, and so, but he's not. It's not the last Skywalker. He's not a Skywalker. He wasn't. He wasn't. He isn't. He's like Luke's nephew. So it's stupid. You know, like the Rey, the whole thing, the whole idea. I guarantee you, they didn't know where they were gonna go. They did the first movie, and then the question started. They started. Well, who is this girl? Remember, like in Last Jedi, Luke goes, who are you? You know, and what do you mean, who am I? I'm your daughter, you know, you idiots. You know, like you fucking you ruined everything. You know, you had the perfect flow of where everything was going, and you fucking you didn't know what you're doing. It's too obvious. What do you mean it's obvious? It's obvious that there's no obvious. That's what it is. It doesn't matter what obvious is. It matters it is what it is. You know, that's the point. That's who she is. And would they? Well, you know, she's not. Then who is she? You know, like everybody comes from someplace. That's the whole idea. That's the part of the Star Wars universe. It's a family. It's everybody's connected. That now, I know I can go on to the end of time about why you know the whole thing with they're twins. They're you know the Princess Leia. They're not. They weren't. They never were designed to be. They had to make a they had to make a hard decision because what you had one woman, Princess Leia, and you had two guys, which were both eligible for her, the Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, and you had to have a reason why she's going to choose one over the other, and there's no, you know, whatever reason it was, you couldn't come up with one. So they had to say, well, then she has to be his brother. You have to make it that way because then there's no explanation, there's no logic. So they kind of got desperate too, and they made a nonsense. They said, "Oh, she's my sister." She's not. They're not related at all. She's a Princess Leia Organa. They're not. They're not from. And Luke Skywalker is part of the Skywalker. They're not related at all. You got two horny guys and one woman. You had to make an answer. You had to create a solution. And that's the best he could come up with. You know, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know, you know, what to do. Because remember Return of the Jedi when he goes, he's out there on an Ewok planet. He's on Endor before he turns himself into Vader, and Luke goes, he goes, that's why I have to go. And she goes, no, run far away, run. I wish I could go. She didn't know. She didn't even know who her own dad is. His dad is Darth Vader, is Anakin Skywalker. She doesn't know because it wasn't. It was a dumb thing. She never knew. In the end of Empire Strikes Back, when Vader maybe goes, son, come to me. Like he's talking to him. He knows. What do you mean? He knows and she doesn't. Like was she stupid or something? She doesn't know how to use the force. They come up with every excuse that you could possibly imagine just to, you know, we got to keep the story going. We got to keep the story, keep those idiots in the seats and keep the whole thing going. I know I went like way off topic here, but I had to like just get this all out because it's a, you know, this whole thing is just, it all relates to everything. You know, everything it relates. But anyway, so I hope you guys like this. You know, I know, you know, this was a different. I got way off topic with the bottom line, but you know, if you think about this, the Jedi are the warriors. They are the warriors, and well, what was it? I think it was in prequels when Anakin says to the Obi-Wan young says to him, he goes, you know, what's the difference between a Sith and a Jedi? He says, well, no, it was Palpatine. It was Chancellor. Palpatine goes. They're watching that Squid performance or whatever, and I think it was episode 3, and he goes before he tells them the tragedy of. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? And he goes, no. And he goes, I'm sure you haven't. It's Sith legend. It's not one that a Jedi would tell you. And so, but the whole thing before that, he goes, the Jedi and the Sith are similar in almost every way, including the nature of the Force. And then he's not falling for it. He goes, no, no, the Sith think inward, only about themselves. And he goes, and the Jedi? He goes, the Jedi are selfless. They think about others. So the whole thing is that they he's trying. The Palpatine is really desperate. Like he wants, he wants to, take Anakin. He needs him for something. I don't know, like why, but I guess that's part of the evil. Like, he wants to like have his way with him, if you know what I mean. I guess not in a good way, pun there. But I guess the whole thing is, you could say the same thing about warrior mentality. Like I could use my not well the pickup thing is a little seduction can be called manipulative, so that could be called like a Sith kind of thing. But I can unequivocally like guarantee you that the fighting thing can be used for bad. Like if you have this ability and you just go around, like somebody goes like, just they don't even really get hostile with you. They go, you got something to say, and you just fucking nail them. Now you're going, the wrong. Now you're being a Sith. Now you're fucking doing things that are immoral, bad, and wrong. So that's not what this is. No, it's a respect for the defense and the arts and stuff, even for fighting and whatever. It's a last resort of something. Now the problem is, my problem is that like with my altercation that I had before, a couple of days ago, about a week already, almost half a week. I hesitated. And I heard the one time I was like Triple H. He was. I know it's nonsense, big time wrestling, but some of these lines and their mentality applies to the real world. It was like when Hogan came out, the come back of Hulk Hogan, and you could just see the Triple H. He wasn't brand new. He's in 2002. He's not brand new. And even any of these guys that get that to make it to that point, you could be a rookie just starting. They've been wrestling for a couple of years already. They're training. No, they don't put you on camera for nothing. There's a reason why. So he's already had he went through he started in the mid '90s. Probably had a good 5 years under his belt, but his confidence was And then Hogan comes out and he was a little older, and he goes, "Let me tell you something, brother. If the fans believe in me, yeah, and I believe in me, and fans want me to have a title shot, brother, then I'm gonna take it." And then Triple H stand there and goes, "He's very interesting. You come, yes, I know, but it would be an honor for me to challenge the immortal Hulk Hogan at Backlash. And just as much as it would be an honor, a part of me would be just a little sad." And Hogan standing there and he goes, "Be sad because I'm going to have to hurt somebody that I've looked up to for a long time. Make no mistake, when I get in that ring, I will not hesitate." I'm laughing. I couldn't stay in frame. He goes, "Make no mistake, when you get in the ring with me, I will not hesitate for 1 second." So that's why I went back to that, because that's the key word, is the hesitate. When Triple H said, "I will not hesitate for 1 second." And I thought about that. I said, yeah, when those guys came at me, I kind of hesitated. I said, let me tell you something. If somebody comes at you like that, you don't fucking hesitate, because if you know what you're doing, you just do it. I don't hesitate. That leads to like the pickup thing too. If you hesitate, you're not going to go up to the woman. If you hesitate, you're not going to fucking defend yourself. You don't hesitate. That's what Triple H. So he knew already. He was well beyond. He was not intimidated by the immortal Hulk Hogan. So that's why I got one question for you, brother. know what did he say at the end? I gotta finish. He goes, hmm, you may be right. He goes, Triple H. He goes, you may be right, brother. But just when all the experts count me out, then all of a sudden it rises to the top. So with that being said, Triple H, I got one question for you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you? Wow, the music starts going and everything, and the people start getting into it. And then, like you see, like Triple H, like they start talking, and the camera's still on them, but you can't hear what they're saying. And they're really like you could see, and Hogan goes like this, to go like to the crowd and everything like that. It's really, really good. I'm wearing, but I think about that. It's like excellent writing, excellent execution. Like as a performer, like well, it's all fake, man. It's all fake. What's not fake is their performance. Yeah, you think a 300-pound man likes to get picked up and thrown around and everything? I'm like 150. I hate it. I got suplexed one time. I fucking hated it. I got scared. It was awful. It's like it's an abnormal movement to have things flying around. Like it's ridiculous. So that's I commend, and as much as people say they hate that guy, that Triple H guy, but that makes him so great is because you know bring that antagonist, the really really talented. Everybody loved Hogan. Everybody said Hogan's the goat, but what a great professional. Really, I met them all. I never met Triple H though, but real. Yeah, he's a real. You know what though? You'd be too. If you really sacrificed your body and everything that you gave, man, you know, you're not a normal person. You're not. What do you expect that guy to be happy walking around? These guys are tough dudes. I don't care if it's fake or whatever. They're strong, mentally strong. Like they're anomalies. They're different people. You can't expect them to be nice to you or whatever. You don't know. Like there's not many people that can do that. And they got a lot of people around watching, and they're the bar is very very high. So I respect them for that. But again, I take the mentality from that no hesitate, no, take, why not? Like there's some good nuggets of wisdom in what's like ridiculous. Anyway, that's all for now. I'm gonna have something to eat. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this one. Another good long one, but a good educational one. So with that, I'm out. Warrior Jr. is signing off. Amazing. That was a good one.